You've got money left after bills. Maybe it's $200, maybe it's $600. And every month you ask yourself the same question. Do I throw this at my debt or do I start investing? Here's the thing. That question has a right answer, a specific one, based on your actual numbers. And most people never find it because they're treating debt payoff and investing like they're enemies. They're not. They're a sequence. By the end of this video, you'll have a 4-question decision tree. It tells you exactly where your next dollar goes, based on your situation, not a generic rule. There's one number that controls this whole decision. I'll give it to you in about 2 minutes. Let's start with question 1. Does your employer match your 401k contributions? If the answer is yes, stop everything else. This is your first move. Here's the math. Say your employer matches 50% of your contributions, up to 6% of your salary. You earn $60,000 a year. 6% of $60,000 is $3,600. Your employer drops in $1,800 on top for free. That's an instant 50% return, before the market does a single thing. Show me a conventional debt with a 50% interest rate. You won't find one. Not even a 22% credit card comes close. So, no debt justifies skipping a 50% guaranteed return. One thing to check. Your employer match may come with a vesting schedule. That means you might need to stay 2 to 4 years before it's fully yours. Know your plan. But the rule stands. Always contribute enough to get your full match first, even when you're carrying debt. Coming up, the one interest rate that tells you everything. Most people guess it wrong. Before we get to rates, a quick but critical check. Do you have at least 3 months of living expenses saved? I know, you came here for the debt versus investing answer, but skipping this step is one of the most expensive mistakes people make. Here's why. Without an emergency fund, one unexpected bill puts everything back on a credit card. A car repair, a medical bill, a job loss. Any of those hits, and you're right back where you started. If you don't have 3 months saved yet, here's what you do. Split your extra dollars 50-50, half toward your highest interest debt, half into a high-yield savings account. Not perfect, but it's sustainable. And sustainable beats perfect every time. If you're single income or your job isn't stable, aim for 6 months instead of 3. The extra cushion is worth it. Now, the number. Write this down, 7%. That's the threshold. Debt above 7%. Throw every extra dollar at it. Invest only up to your employer match. Debt below 6%, make the minimum payment and invest everything else. Don't pay it down faster. The math says your money works harder in the market. In the gray zone, between 6 and 7%, split the extra. Some goes toward paying down the debt faster. Some goes into your investments. Either way, you're moving forward. Here's why that number exists. Paying off a 10% debt is a guaranteed 10% return. The stock market has averaged roughly 10% annually before inflation, or about 7% after inflation, over long periods of time. But that's a historical average, not a guarantee. Eliminating high interest debt is. But here's where it flips. If your rate is below 6%, the math says invest alongside it. Real example. You have $20,000 in student loans at 4.5%, 15 years left. Minimum payment is about $153 a month. Now, instead of putting $100 extra toward that loan, you invest it in a low-cost index fund, 7% average return. In 15 years, that $100 a month grows to about $32,000. The extra interest you'd carry on that loan by not paying it down faster, roughly $3,800. You came out ahead by over $28,000 on a low-interest loan. Low-interest debt does not need to be your top priority. Still with me? Next, why the type of debt matters just as much as the rate. Not all debt is equal. The type changes your answer. Credit card debt. Average rate right now is over 20%. After capturing your employer match and starting your emergency fund, this is target number 1. It compounds fast and it compounds against you. Student loans, federal or private. This is where you have to check your actual rate. Federal undergraduate direct loans for the 2024 to 25 academic year carried a 6.53% fixed rate. Graduate and Parent Plus loans are even higher. Run your numbers through the threshold test. Don't assume federal means low. Private student loans can hit 10% or more. Those get treated the same as high interest debt. Mortgage debt. Here's the honest answer in the current environment. If your mortgage rate is below 6%, invest alongside it. If it's above 7%, apply the same threshold logic. Look up your rate and run the test. Don't assume mortgages are automatically low interest anymore. Let me pull it all together. 1. Capture your full employer 401k match. Always. 2. No emergency fund yet? Split extra dollars 50-50 between debt and savings. 3. Debt above 7%? Attack it with every extra dollar. Below 6%? Minimum payment only. Invest the rest. In the gray zone? Pay a little extra on the debt and invest the remainder. 4. Know your debt type. Credit cards first. Student loans follow the rate test. Mortgage, check your rate, then apply the same logic. That's the whole system. Here's the mistake most people make. They wait until they're completely debt-free before they start investing. Waiting isn't a strategy. Every year you delay, you lose compounding you can never get back. Start a decade late and you could end up with half the retirement wealth. The fix isn't to pick one. The fix is the sequence. Give every dollar a job. Nothing gets wasted. The question was never debt or investing. And the real question is, what does your situation say to do next? Now you have the framework to answer that every single time. I built a free Google Sheet version of this decision tree. Plug in your actual numbers and it does the math for you. The link is in the description. Tell me in the comments, where did you land? If this opened your eyes, there's a lot more on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Every video is built to help you see the numbers clearly. Quick note, this is general education, not personal financial advice. You always make the final call.